Hey, what is going on, guys? I hope you have a good day. In today's video, I will definitely make your day much better if your day is not good, because in today's video I'm going to show you one really cool deck in a standard format. So we are looking back at Dragonite GX for the second time on this channel. This time updated with Jirachi. It works perfect. It's definitely good. It's strong. It has a lot of support. It has Cyrus and Lance. It has also this Latias with the Dragon's Fleet, and it has a lot of options to snipe your opponent bench just like that. So before I start to go through the deck, I'm just gonna talk a little bit about Dragonite GX. 250 HP, stage 2 Dragon Pokemon. 1 energy for Dragon's Claw, 70, that's insane. Giga Impact for 200 might seem a little bit much, but once you manage to power up your Dragonite GX, and then when you hit 3 of them and when you find Super Boost Energy, is going to be such an easy play, as long as you have Dragonite with the Fast Call and Jirachi with Stellar Wish and the Skateboard in your bench, because then you can simply each turn Guzma for 200 between those Dragonites. In theory, it works perfect. In real life, it also works good. But it's gonna be, again, probably mid-tier to tier 3 deck, because it's still not gonna be that fast and strong versus those new tag team decks. But it's a good deck, there's no doubt about it. So I'm running 4 copies of Dratini with Wrap, because you can paralyze your opponent active Pokemon if you stack with the Dratini in the front. 1 Dragonair with the Twister, and then 3 copies of a Dragonite GX and 2 copies of Fast Call Dragonites, which will allow me to search my deck for supporter card and put it into my hand if I need it. Then moving on to the other cards, I'm running 1 Latias with a Dragon Split, because I can hit for 50 for each Evolution Dragon Pokemon that I have in play. So theoretically I can go for 250 for just a single double Chorus Energy. That's insane. And then 4 copies of Jirachi, Stellar Wish, so we can have that fast item setup, or maybe supporter setup in the early stage of the game if we miss one. Moving on to the item cards, I decided to run 1 energy recycle system, 1 copy of Rescue Stretcher and 1 copy of Pelpat, so I can recycle supporters, Pokemons and energies back from my discard pile into my deck. Definitely good option to have all of these options. Also 4 copies of Mystery Treasure and 4 copies of Ultra Ball for the additional setup. Always good to have, as well as 4 copies of Rare Candy. And then in addition to that, from Stadium, I decided to go with Radiant Forest, so I can basically search my deck for either way Water or Lighting Energy if I need it at a specific time when that moment comes. For the draw support, 8 draw supporters, 4 Cynthias, 2 Erika's Hospitalities and 2 copies of Lily. Supporters, 1 Cyrus and 1 copy of Lance. Both of them can definitely be useful. 3 copies of Guzma as well, and then I'm running also 3 copies of a Skateboard, so I can have a retreat with my Jirachi, or maybe with Latias if I start with him, or maybe even with Dratini. Maybe not, because it's a 2 retreat cost. And also 12 energies in total, 4 copies of Lighting, 3 copies of Water, and then 4 DCE and 1 Super Boost Energy, which can perfectly fit in this deck, especially with Lance combo. If our opponents manage to knock any of our Pokemon, we can simply play Lance, put 2 Dragon Stage 2 Pokemons in the bench, and then we can simply have very, very close that Super Boost Energy with 3 Stage 2 Pokemons in play. For 1 energy we can hit for like 200, which is insane. Unfortunately, this deck won't be able to go for the 1-hit knockout versus, for example, Zoroark, for example, tag team Pokemons. And that's the reason why this deck is good, but it's not meant to be a tier deck. But still, you can have a lot of fun with it, which I will definitely preview in the following videos. You're going to see some weaknesses about this deck, you're going to see some advantages of this deck, you're going to see how this deck works in, let's say, perfect scenario, and how this deck works when it bricks. So definitely make sure to hit the subscribe button, like if you already didn't, so you can help me a little bit, maybe even consider sharing this video. And yeah, so let's move on to the gameplay so you can see this deck in action. So see you in the game. Alright, so starting first, let's see. Will there be Jirachi play for me? It will be. Okay, good thing to know that I'm gonna have also a skateboard available and mystery treasure for the turn 1. So things looking good here. There's also a Drow supporter, which is a Cynthia. So first things first, let's see what we can get with the Stellar Wish, a Lily, and Ultra Ball. Is it worth to play Ultra Ball in this case? I think it's not. So we're just gonna discard this Ultra Ball for that Dratini, and after that, double course energy attachment, Cynthia play into hopefully another Jirachi for another Stellar Wish. Yep. Okay. Rare Candy Ultra Ball. I think I'm gonna go with Ultra Ball. The biggest concern for me is the fact that I need to throw 2 energy cards into my discard pile, but I'm gonna do it. Or maybe I should go with Cynthia? Nah, let's rather go with 2 energies. We can recycle them back easily with energy recycle system, and it is in my deck, so that's the good thing to know. Alright, I think I managed to set up properly here, so I'm not gonna cry for sure. I managed even to wake up, but it doesn't matter too much, only if I want to retreat. But I can retreat, I guess, for free as long as I have my escape board. So there's a Swabble on the other side of the field, which basically means that my opponent plays Altaria with Executor, and he plays the Dragon one. So I can also expect to see a Lance from the other side of the field as well. One Shackle, so he can fresh squeeze 3 energies from deck into his discard pile. Alright, Water, Fairy, and Fire. Discarded in this case. There's a Sightseer, which is also a very good supporter card for this type of the deck, because you can throw out even more resources from your hand in order to draw more cards, so theoretically you can discard energy cards. Alright, so going with the Cynthia before I decide to go with the Stellar Wish. One Rare Candy is the way to go, and I did find one. It is a slow build up here, but it is how it is. At least I have one dragon in play right now. Unfortunately, I cannot retreat. That's the bad thing. But I can, for example, fast call maybe for potentially Guzma next turn. Let's say. If my Jirachi would be knocked out, I can always play Guzma if I need it. But I'm probably not going to need it. I'm probably just going to need Lance if I take the knockout there. Alright, so there's Altaria with Fight Song. So, yeah. And the Tropical Shake Executor with 160 HP. Not easy target here for sure. I have option to go with Lance if I want, which is actually not that bad option if I consider the fact that I also have Radiant Forest in play, and then I can grab myself energy of any type that I need. And Cynthia. So my Dragonite won't be knocked out, and that's the most important thing. However, I can maybe skip for now that... Should I skip for now? I think I should actually skip for now Lance. It's not that I need so many dragons for now in play. I'm probably gonna skip that. Yeah, we can skip that. And just try to find... I mean, if the Ultra Ball is a top deck, or maybe not Ultra Ball, if I can find Mystery Treasure or Ultra Ball for Dragonite GX, then I'm probably gonna consider going with Lance. Another Jirachi. And what about Stellar Wish? Ah, Mystery Treasure. Okay, fair enough. Then I guess I'm gonna Mystery Treasure my Lily into the Dragonite GX. And I can retreat. Actually, before I decide to retreat, let's play Cynthia and see what do we have here. Only one water energy. Whew. That's so close. I don't even know how to explain that. It was very close. Yeah, I think I can go right now with the lens. I can set another potentially Dragon in play. Why not if I can? Free Dragonite GX on the bench, always welcome. Retreat into... Oof, I almost clicked on that Jirachi. That would be disaster. Giga Impact for 200. And I think the game is over right now. It should be game over right now. I mean, it's probably... He probably won't concede at this moment or scoop. Still, he's playing just, you know, one price deck versus two price card decks. And I need to be very, very, very consistent with the Guzma play from each single turn. I will probably have Guzma every single turn that I will need it. I mean, I can play Guzma every turn as long as I have my fast call Dragonite, so I guess I don't need to worry too much. I can knock all of his executes before he manages even to set them out in play. But if he can find two of them at the same time, then he will have one executor sooner or later in play. Even Lance can work perfectly fine for my opponent, especially because he's playing Dragon Executor, so it can work for sure. Rescue Stretcher for another execute. Okay. No, he decided to shuffle them back. So he had plenty of different energies. This let loose actually won't hurt me too much. It will actually help me a little bit. Maybe I can find another Rare Candy Dragonite combo. As for example, I do have Rare Candy, so only thing that I need is another Dragonite, which I can probably get with my Stellar Wish. So, following turn, energy attachment onto another Dragonite GX. He decided to throw energy for another energy. Probably so he can have greater chance to pull something that he needs. Attach to basic energy from this put to your Pokemon any way you like. Okay, I like this turn. Well played. It's a decent turn. So he can attach to each of his executes energy. What a play. Didn't even notice that. Okay, so we are ready for the fast call into the Guzma. This deck actually has a lot of options. It's very flexible. And right now you can actually see how it works as it should. I guess I can throw this Viridian Force from my hand. No energies. You gotta be kidding me. Where are my energy cards? Still, I can Stellar Wish into Mystery Treasure, and then I can Mystery Treasure my Cynthia into the Dragonite GX, so I can have 3 Dragonite GX in play. It's easier than ever before to have so many dragons in play. It's just ridiculous. It's ridiculous how easy it is to set those Dragonites in play. And I can even knock my opponent with my Dragon's Claw, so I don't even waste my Giga Impact. There's no point in doing that. So, I managed to strike for like 70, which is enough for the knockout versus executes. And I'm down to like 4 price cards. Whew. I have like 4 dragons in play, and what my opponent decided to do, he just decided to concede because there's no point of playing versus 250 HP Pokemon that can simply go for like 200 from each single turn to turn. And that's the GG MVP Dragonite GX, as you would expect. Alright, so we have Dragonite GX deck on today's video, so it's gonna be very interesting to play with this deck, that's for sure. I kind of like it. Jirachi and Lance definitely puts this deck in a comfortable zone. You can definitely have good powerful setup with those 2 cards. And looks like I'm gonna play probably versus Gyarados, which is gonna be, I should say, maybe a little bit tricky. But hey, it is how it is. So, turn one, no Drow supporter play, which is really bad. So Magikarp, enter the dragon, flip a coin if heads, put a card. Okay, so you can evolve basically into Gyarados. I still prefer another Magikarp over the this one, mainly because you can prevent your opponent from spreading damage to your Gyarados. Actually, Magikarp on the bench, in my opinion, it's better. Alright, so that's a quick switch onto Vulpix for that quick beacon. I'm gonna have Dragonite GX and play turn 2, which is amazing. Basically meaning that with Dragonite GX in the early stage of the game, I can start to taking pressure against my opponent, which I probably will do. I mean, I will probably just retreat my Jirachi into Dragonite and take the first prize card in the game. But what I'm gonna do after that is a very good question. So I'm not gonna be able to go for the one-hit knockout versus my opponent Gyarados, which is the scariest thing here. I made this deck basically to be a double hit deck, not a one-hit knockout deck. Unfortunately, I guess I could try to put some choice bands so I can go for like 230. Being able to go for 230 would be enough for the one-hit knockout versus, oh, interesting, versus some decks like alright, let's go with the Stellar Wish because we have Cynthia. Nothing. Wow, interesting. I need a skateboard, otherwise I'm not gonna be able to retreat, and that actually happened right now, so I'm looking for Dragonire as it looks right now, or maybe, do I have Lance? Unfortunately, Lance is priced, so that's a very bad sign. But there's like 3 rare candies, so I think I'm just gonna grab myself Dragonite for next turn, so I can attack with Dragonite, and I can have backup Dragonite just in case. More than that. Okay, so even Super Boost Energy is priced as well. Fair enough, I guess. Still, if my opponent wants to attack, he will need a switch as well. And meanwhile, I can maybe find Guzma, so I can potentially swing for 200 Giga Impact, knocking one of those two Gyaradoses. But he actually did me a favor there by putting Ninetales GX in play, which I kind of like to see, mainly because I can hit for 200 and take 2 prize cards, which is a good thing. Gyarados can go for like 30, 240. 240 at max without choice bands, so still not enough for the one-hit knockout versus Dragonite, so thumbs up for that. I can somehow barely survive 7 energy flow from Gyarados, the Stilted Blast. So another Crusher Wake means that probably this turn I'm not going to be knocked out if there's not going to be some sort of switch energy play. I can't see these 2 cards, unfortunately, so energy recycle system. Alright, for 7 energies, he can recycle only 5 of them. So I wake up somehow, and I top deck Ultra Ball. Before I play Ultra Ball, I will try to get that escape board, and I finally managed to get it. So I can switch my Jirachi into the Dragonite. And more than that, let's go with the Cynthia for now, leaving those Ultra Balls and energies, and we're just gonna try to get with Mystery Treasure for Ultra Ball, maybe another Dratini as it looks, or maybe I can go for, yeah, I'm gonna go for Dratini right now, so I can have 3 of them. We'll also remove his Stadium from play. I can retreat onto my Dragonite. and I can swing for 200, which should be enough for the one-hit knockout against this Ninetales. So I'm 2 prize cards ahead of my opponent, and if I get lucky with maybe Lens, if I get knockout, I can still grab 2 dragons and put them on my bench with my Lens, which is a very good thing. So, there we go with the Gyarados. The question still remains, can he go for the one-hit knockout versus my Dragonite? If not, I mean, the bad thing is that I can't attack with my Giga Impact next turn, so I need some sort of, let's say Guzma play, but even if I can find Guzma, I can't do too much anyways. I took 2 prize cards, so that's at least something. Probably this 5 energies, maybe even more. Oh, okay, so only 5, so that's like 180. Next turn my Dragonite is knocked out, that's for sure. I need to find a way somehow to do something out here. I can theoretically steal the show with my Latias. Ooh, so I can hit for like 100. But I need to pay 3 retreat cost, which is a lot. Is it worth to discard so many resources? I was short for like 1 more dragon. I definitely need to retreat, because otherwise I'm gonna be knocked out anyways. And I will assume that my opponent does not play Guzma. I mean, he definitely plays Guzma, but I will hope that he don't have Guzma. And I'm just gonna grab another Guzma for me for the next turn. Alright, so that's gonna be it for now. I guess I can attach energy somewhere, so why not to Latias and pass my turn. I didn't wake up. It doesn't matter too much. I'm gonna be knocked out probably anyways. 2 energies from 7 cards needs to be at my opponent top deck in order to knock my Jirachi out for the 1 prize only. So bad thing about Gyarados is definitely how to find Counter Catcher or Guzma. This is the biggest problem for those decks. 180 damage on the other side on Dragon. Oh, he have Guzma in his hand. Alright, so Dragonite would be knocked out, or maybe even Latias. No, he decided to go for 2 prize swing. Alright, so how many energies? 4 of them. Alright, I think it's still not time for the Lens. I mean, it's not for sure. I need Dragonite top deck so badly. I couldn't get one, so I guess Energy Recycle system can work. Yep, we're gonna recycle some of the energies back into the deck. More than that, I can play Lance, I guess, but that's it. And still I can't go for the 1-hit knockout, so I guess that's just not good. And there's a glitch with Energy Recycle system once again. So what about just... triple Guzma? I mean, I can take the knockout, but still, that's not what I'm looking for. Let's go with the Cynthia and see if we can find maybe a couple Dragonites, for example. So we're gonna go with this play, and then obviously Mystery Treasure for Jirachi, so I can grab another Dragonite, this time Dragonite GX. And right now I actually have again only 2 evolution Pokemons in play, which means I can swing only for like 100, and I'm gonna risk with the Stellar Wish. Next turn for maybe Erika's Hospitality, but I'm probably not gonna need it. I don't know what is the chance for my opponent that he have another Guzma available for another knockout. I hope that he don't have it, mainly because I want to take the knockout versus Gyarados, not the double hit knockout, and still trade price for 2 prize cards in theory. I think maybe next turn taking the risk, knocking this Magikarp with my Dragonite would be probably the best possible scenario, but... then again, I missed knockout with my Latias turn before, so I'm not sure. Oh, 6 energies. That's a lot of energy cards. So I'm gonna need literally Guzma here, and I can go with the Lance right now if I want immediately, and then I can knock this Gyarados out. But I personally think this is not a good idea, not at all. How much he can swing for? Like 120, so yeah, it's definitely a bad idea. Since he have Magikarp, I need to do that, unfortunately. So Stellar Wish for Guzma. I'm swinging for 70. I can grab with the fast call another draw supporter or any type of supporter like Lily. So what I'm gonna do here is I'm gonna go with Ultra Ball for another Dratini. Oh, I don't have... this is not looking good. This is definitely not looking good. Alright, at least we can swing for 70, but that's not what we're looking for. Oh, there's Dratini. Alright. Next turn I can play Guzma, but the problem is that still I can go for like 100, so I'm hoping that my opponent will misplay and put another Magikarp on the bench or any type of Pokemon, so I can go with my Dragon's Fleet for the knockout, which is going to be very crucial in this case. Otherwise I'm going to lose the game. Okay, so there's a Rescue Stretcher, so it might be for the Magikarp. It's always hard to play versus Gyarados. Simply it is. So oh, he actually do me a favor there, alright. So triple setup. Are we gonna see triple setup? We're probably gonna see triple setup. As long as I can avoid one hit knockout, that's okay. So without Choice Band, he can go for like 240 and that's it. Nah, he didn't actually decide to put Pokemon on the bench. And I guess I can go for the knockout and hit for 200. And that's what it is. I mean, I need to swing for 200. Do I literally have other option there? I guess I don't. So still I can go with the fast call for some sort of maybe Guzma play. But what about it? Can I benefit from it? I think I can't. Still I have only 2 Pokemon, 2 Dragon Pokemon, Evolution Pokemons in play. But I can grab it. I can grab it, so I can have it. But I actually realized that Cynthia or actually Lily would be much better right now when I think twice. So we can potentially go with Guzma on Jirachi, Stellar Wish, and then retreat into the knockout. Yeah, I guess we can try to do that. Lance is still in my hand, so that's a good thing. What about Rare Candy? The biggest problem is that after this swing, my opponent is taking like double price card and that's it. So I don't think I can actually win this game anymore. I'm gonna pass turn. I'm gonna hope that he don't have actually some sort of Guzma play. And then I can still somehow try to win a game. Otherwise, it's a GG. So Viridian Forest for energy. He took one into his hand. There's a Crusher Wake, so he's maybe looking for that Guzma for the following turn, so he can have the game in his hand. Alright, so basically maybe even... So yeah, I discarded actually the last Jirachi, which was stupid play from me. So Lance actually, Cyrus would be very nice right now if I have one. Dragonite, nice. Unfortunately, the bad one. But I can go for like 150, and that's a good thing. Speaking about good things, let's go with the Lily. Yeah, ready for energy attachment. Onto my Dragonite. Still I can go for just like 120. Yeah, with Ultra Ball I can't do nothing, so at least I can swing for like... Yeah, I can go another Fast Call for another round with Cynthia. I needed this Rescue Stretcher, but I couldn't get it, so... At least I can swing for 150, right? And then there's like 2 Gyarados on my opponent's side of the field, and he have like plenty of other energies left, so there's a Guzma for the win. Well played. So only Cyrus would help me in this case if I had it, so I could just with Jirachi play Cyrus, retreat onto Dragonite, and knock my opponent Gyarados for the win, but unfortunately I couldn't get it, it was prized, so that is a GG. Alright, so waiting my opponent for the coin flip, and then we can see who's gonna start first. Oh, probably I'm gonna start second, which is not a good thing with stage 2 deck. However, as long as I can start the game with Jirachi, that's perfectly fine. So, starting with Jirachi, and I have Lance available, so this is gonna be very powerful turn 2 for me if I take the knockout versus my opponent Pokemon, if my Jirachi will be knocked out, so I can swing hard turn 2, that's for sure. I really like this Lance. Lance Prism is probably the best Prism supporter that they actually printed. Okay, I mean, we're also gonna agree that Cyrus is also a very good deck. It also fits good in this build. And in my opinion, Cyrus can be taken in any deck that run Jirachi. So if you just wonder how you can have possibly good matchup versus deck like, for example, how you can have good matchup versus Zoroark deck with Jirachi Zapdos, just take one Cyrus and you can have much better setup in my opinion. Alright, so we have Lily here, and we're actually gonna need Lily there. Okay, so Ultra Ball for something like Ultra Ball and then Viridian Forest, so I can grab myself Dratini, and then I can play other Ultra Ball if I want. But then I need to throw my Lance, and that's just unacceptable. Alright, this looks much better. I can Ultra Ball theoretically for... maybe for one Dragonite and maybe for other Lighting Energies, so I can grab myself another Dratini. And then I'm counting on the knockout, so that's the reason why I'm gonna put another Jirachi on the bench. And I'm gonna pass the turn after that. As it looks right now, if my opponent take the knockout versus my Jirachi turn 2, then I can put my Dragonite GX ×2 in play. And we might even see Guzma there. We're probably gonna see Guzma there, and that's the worst possible scenario for me because my Latios would be knocked out, and this is not the way to go. This is definitely not the way to go. I lost my Latios, which was probably the best counter-attacker for this Zekrom deck. It is how it is. It could be even worse. I have Guzma to respond, but there's nothing I can do with it. Mr. Treasure Rare Candy. Alright, I guess I can grab myself one Rare Candy and put one of my Dragonites in play. At least that's something, right? And more than that, I can attach energy. And I can go with the lens, so I can put 2 more dragons in play, or I can play Guzma and swing potentially maybe for 70 dead Zekrom on the bench, which is not a bad option at all, especially because he can then Tag Ball GX in theory. So I have 2 options available, and it's really hard for me to tell which one I should do. I guess I'm gonna go with the lens for now, so I'm gonna go with the lens for now. Alright. And I can go also with the fast call, which means I can grab also another supporter card, so let it be Cynthia for the next turn. Okie dokie, that's it. I mean, turn 2, when Zekrom strike turn 2 for like full blitz, it's really hard to win. It is, especially when he swing and when he knocks your Latias with the Dragon's Fleet out. Then it's just impossible, in my opinion, to keep going on. I'm gonna try to do my best, but it's not gonna be easy. It's gonna be super, super hard for me to beat this Pika Zekrom as it looks right now from this point of view, when he already have 2 of them ready for the knockout. And maybe he can just retreat on the Zapdos and take the knockout versus my Jirachi next turn, which is even possibility there. If he decide to do that, I can probably go with the Guzma, targeting one of those Pika Zekroms. It's probably the best way to go. Meanwhile, trying to charge up another Dragonite. He rather decided to go with the full blitz instead. I'm gonna risk with Jirachi, trying to maybe get... Actually, it's not worth when I think a little bit better. But if I decide to hit this Zekrom on the bench for like 70, I just need somehow to... Okay, we can work with this escape board. So yeah, I definitely need to apply some pressure to him. There's literally not too many options for me available as it looks. But he built up much better and greater position than I did. So yeah, he's ready maybe even for the knockout there. And it's gonna be really hard. It is really hard as it looks right now. I mean, I managed to set up properly, strong, fast enough. But still it was not enough. Still it was not enough. So I'm taking 230 here and probably 170 here. Maybe even knockout here and maybe knockout against this Dragonite. Super boost energy if my opponent missed knockout is the only way to go, but he managed to find electro power in addition to that, so there's also let loose, which doesn't matter too much because the game is over. Oof, this deck team, Zekrom and Pikachu, just way too much for this deck as it looks. The best thing I can do, interesting. He rather decided to take knockout versus 2 dragons instead of the 1. Okay, it makes sense. Because I can't use my super boost energy instead. Good play. Definitely good play. With the Stellar Wish, maybe Rare Candy, maybe not. Yeah, definitely taking this Viridian Forest, it's enough pressure from this annoying Thunder Mountain. I guess I need to attach energy, but it doesn't matter too much. Rescue Stretcher, Folks for Dragonite, Dratini, and let it be another Dragonite as well. And I'm ready to go with Jirachi for the bench and with 1 Cynthia. I have Dragonite, and I can only retreat and strike for 70 more. But my opponent has way too many resources available that he probably have enough for the knockout. He probably have Guzma in his hand for the win. So if I was maybe able somehow to knock this tag team out, who knows what would happen after that. But still 240. I can't go for 240 with a single shot. It's just impossible. Kukui Choice Band would be optional for that. But I'm not running any of these two. And he have Guzma for the win. Alright, so it hurts a lot. It hurts a lot, so he can even knock me out with the Zapdos for the last prize card. So I was not able to do anything here. Literally, he set up so fast that it was just way too hard for me. Basically for anything. So he played like 3 Zekrom GXs. Interesting. Well, interesting. Also Licia as well. And plenty of energy cards. What? 15 energies in total. Well, that's insane. And that's also a GG. Alright, so can we do maybe something better in this game? Let's see. So that Zekrom actually kicked my ass. It was such a fast game from the other side of the field. I mean, if my opponent in theory was not able to knock my Latias at the beginning of the game, who knows what would happen. That turn 1 was just... turn 2 was just too much for me, I guess. Oh, so, okay, I'm gonna play versus... Oh, this is gonna be such an interesting game. Versus Metagross. 250 versus 250. Both stage 2, but I have Cyrus. So I'm hoping that Cyrus will give me the edge against my opponent. I think Cyrus in this game can actually shine perfect. So we're gonna see top loader turn 1 for Lily probably. For 4 extra cards, maybe for even a little bit more, especially if he has something else. No, he decided rather to go with the Cynthia instead of the Lily. I would probably prefer to go with Lily instead. Yeah, especially after these 2 choice band plays. I'm weak to Fairy, so that's okay. There's an S-Ball, probably for another Beldum. I'm gonna wait for my opponent to set 5 Pokemons on the bench. And potentially GXs, and then I can strike him hard with my Cyrus. As it looks right now, I'm gonna go with 1 Cynthia play. Also gonna put that Viridian Forest. I'm gonna get rid of 1 Viridian Forest. We have Rescue Stretcher, that's a good thing. Alright, Cynthia. I'm gonna keep another Viridian Forest just in case. I'm not sure which type of the deck my opponent is playing. Damn it. Damn it, that's all I'm gonna say. Damn it. Not even worth to bother trying to paralyze my opponent there, so... I should go for another Jirachi instead of the Dratini. I'm running 4 Ultra Balls and 4 Mystery Treasures, and unfortunately I was not able to get none of these 2 cards. So rest of the game is going to be very painful. I can already see that coming, especially if he knocks my Jirachi this turn. But since he Pokemon Communication for Metang, maybe I can avoid that threat. And also energy attached to Metang, so I guess I'm going to be perfectly fine for now. Core Beam for 20, and that's it. So he also pricked. Basically meaning that we can still wish into other Cynthia. As it looks, I definitely need to go for it. Energy for another Dratini and Cynthia. Hopefully into another Jirachi at least. and maybe possibly rare candy combo play, which is for now not gonna happen. I can still retreat into another Jirachi and potentially grab that rare candy, which I will get. But it's actually not worth to play it right now, because I already attached 2 energies to my Dratinis, and I feel how I should actually evolve this Dratini without energy into Dragonite, because hitting for 120 with this Dragonite, it's not optional for me. So he passes the turn. Alright. Good for me. I guess it is. I can't do too much. I can Stellar Wish, and I can go for... Oh, actually, I can go for my other Stellar Wish in this case. Which I will do for sure. And then I'm gonna go with my Fast Call. Actually, let's first go with the Fast Call. And we can go with something like Erika's Hospitality first. So energy would be attached. Erika's Hospitality. I'm looking for, again, nothing. So I need that rare candy, actually, which I can't get. So many cards in my hand. There's literally nothing I can do with them. So was short for the rare candy, and I already used my Stellar Wish, so I'm passing my turn. That's pretty much it. Again, I have decent option to and decent chance to pull rare candy. So we're going all in here with that Stellar Wish. Still no sign of the rare candy. Well, that's impressed. I can try to thin my deck a little bit, which I will definitely do. Worst possible thing, I can grab that Latias. I can put him on the bench as well. So I'm retreating into my Jirachi. Before Stellar Wish, we're gonna go with a Fast Call for that Cynthia. So we can have one less card in our deck. And I'm even gonna go with this Viridian Forest. Alright, so 2 rare candies, 21 card in my deck, 7, actually 5 of them with the Stellar Wish. So can I find rare candy? Not even close. Not even close, which basically means that I'm gonna go with my... First one, Ultra Ball for this Dragonite, and let it be 1 Guzma. Not even Dragonair. Then I'm going to play Cynthia. Okay. Once again, no sign of the rare candy. What a weird game for both of us. We both struggled to set up, and this Dratini is in a very bad spot. If my opponent somehow managed to Guzma my Dratini, the game is over. I mean, I'm gonna be in such a huge disadvantage after that. So he traded energy for another energy, which might even come to Tapu Lele GX. So probably his top deck was energy card. I would expect to see that. So I wake up, I just need rare candy once again. Will I be able to get one? No sign of it again. And right now it's perfect time to remove also that Lily from my hand, which I'm not gonna need. Ha, not even close. Not even close, but I can play potentially Erika's Hospitality after energy attachment. So I will go with that call. So Viridian Forest for Cynthia, which basically means that I'm not gonna get energy. Then I'm gonna go with a Ultra Ball, which needs to be for one Dragonite, and let's say for one. If I discard that energy, I will have like 1, 2, 3, 4 cards remaining. Yeah, okay. Ultra Ball for nothing. Finally rare candy. Finally, it took me so long for that rare candy play. And I'm not gonna need this Dratini as well. Just thinning my deck as much as possible so I can draw that last rare candy. And for now, I'm gonna go with a fast call, getting this Guzma in action for the following turn. And more than that, I'm passing my turn. I can attach energy somewhere, but it's not gonna be attached anywhere, that's for sure. Alright, so we pass the turn. Whew, what a bad game this is. I go literally through a hole of my deck. I have like energy recycle system available, super boost energy as well. Plenty of Guzmas left. Actually not plenty, just 2 Guzmas remaining. As it looks right now, Rescue Stretcher needs to be for all 3 Dragonites, and it will be. First, Stellar Wish. Lance. Nah, I guess I'm gonna grab that Viridian Forest. And look at this play right now. So we're gonna go with a fast call for another Guzma. I don't know why in the first place I didn't go for that Guzma. And I have like 7 cards remaining, which basically means that with this Stellar Wish I have very decent chance to pull rare candy, and I still didn't get one, which is quite impressed. Alright, as it looks right now, so there's literally not too many options available. I definitely need to go for the knockout here, and this will be the knockout with my Giga Impact for 200. I managed to take first prize card in the game, so 2 actually. Rare candy finally, and another Jirachi. So 1 rare candy was prized, I already used 2 of them, and 1 is remaining in my deck. I have like 1 more Guzma remaining, so in theory I can also attack next turn, potentially with this Latios, maybe even with something else. It's really hard for my opponent right now to decide which Pokemon will be promoted in the front, mainly because he didn't have great setup, but he can maybe at least ram for like 50, so why not if you can. And I think my biggest problem might be this Cosmog on the bench, so maybe it's worth to go for him. Fail Blower, so I'm gonna lose both escape boards. Luckily I have 1 more left. And I'm very limited with my resources right now, but at least I can buy myself 6 turns with Energy Recycle System and with the Rescue Stretcher, so that can be very useful. But such a shame that my opponent couldn't get Drow Supporter, so this game can be a little bit more interesting to watch. Yeah, Solgaleo can actually go for 30. So ram for 50. Okay, so right now I'm shuffling back 3 dragons, 3 Dragonites. And then I'm playing my Mystery Treasure for that Viridian Forest, so I can grab myself a Dragonite GX. And right now I have 3 dragons in play. With the Guzma, I can definitely go for that Cosmog on the bench, hit him for 70. Meanwhile, double Course Energy can go to Latias, and I can Dragon Claw for the knockout. So I'm down to like, right now, 3 prize cards. And it's a very good spot for me right now. So again, he decided to promote Matang. I have 0 Guzmas remaining, so no more Guzmas for me. All 3 Guzmas has been used. I have 3 prize cards advantage over my opponent. There's another energy attached, and unfortunately for him, another Ram. Which means that in order for the knockout there, I'm gonna need to use my Super Boost energy, which I kinda hate to do. I have Cyrus, but not gonna help me too much. So I guess I can put my... Nah, not gonna do that. Yeah, I need to use my Super Boost energy, I guess. If I want to take the knockout there, I definitely need to go with it. So Giga Impact for the knockout, and right now I have 2 prize cards remaining. Double Course energy, okay. Which I can use next turn for the knockout, for the retreat if I want and if I need. But I think I'm not gonna do that, or maybe I will. So just another Core Beam. Ugh, that was actually a disaster game for both of us. You guys are gonna definitely agree that this game was unfortunately a disaster for my opponent, and I can't even take a closer look at his deck, unfortunately, because he didn't expose it publicly. I would definitely want to go through it so I can see how many Drought supporters he played. But yeah, I definitely had a good luck with my Dragonite GX, so that's a GG.